Hey, what's up you guys? My name's Margot in case you don't already know me, and today I'm here to share with you 10 tips that you should know before traveling Thailand. So I studied abroad in Thailand for 4 months, and over that time I obviously learned a lot about living in Thailand and all the mistakes that I made in packing to go to Thailand, what I should have brought, what I didn't bring, and I just want to share with you basically all of the things that I've learned while I lived there for the 4 months that I did. And I feel like I have a lot of good advice to give to people that are either visiting Thailand or are planning on living in Thailand similar to me. And so the first thing that I wish I knew before going to Thailand was that there's really no point in bringing shoes that aren't water resistant. I know so many of us love our Birkenstocks, and yes, they're so comfortable and they're great to walk in, but for the amount of times that it rains in Thailand and you're caught in these non-water resistant shoes that you paid a premium price for, it's just so not worth it. Every time you walk in the rain with shoes that aren't water resistant, you risk them falling apart. It's not comfortable, and so I really recommend just bringing a pair of kind of plasticky shoes. They don't have to be Crocs, but something with that kind of material. And worst case scenario, I suggest just buying some when you're in Thailand. It is so much easier to walk around when it's raining in water resistant shoes, or even when you're going to the beach. It's just so nice to not have to worry about ruining your precious shoes. So my second tip that I think you should know before going to Thailand is that it's a really good idea to pack a lot of more modest but lightweight clothing. It's nice to bring a couple pairs of short shorts and crop tops, and it's nice to wear that on the beach or when you're on like a Thai island. But when you find yourself in Bangkok or some of the more local cities, if you don't want to stand out, you definitely don't want to be wearing those things in these main cities when you're not on the beach. And it's not a huge deal if you do decide to go that route. People will not stop you in the road and say that you're dressing inappropriately or anything, but nobody else really dresses that way. So you are tagged as a tourist the moment that you get there if you're dressed that way. And that makes you more of a target for pickpocketing, and just people are gonna try and scam you for things more. Taxi drivers are gonna try and charge you more. So I think it's just a nice idea to pack some more modest clothing. One, if you're planning on visiting temples, it's really convenient to have that. Obviously, they won't let you in if you are dressed like you're ready for the beach, but also just to avoid some of the hassles of being a tourist and being a visible tourist in Thailand. So the third thing that I want to mention in this video is the fact that you might run into more people who don't speak English than you would think. So in big places like Bangkok, you'll often run into people who have been in Bangkok their whole life, who have only really had to speak Thai. And so when you try to speak in English with them, they will not understand much at all of what you're saying. And so to mitigate that issue, which doesn't probably happen that often and might not happen to you at all, but just so that you're prepared for a situation like that, I think it's a great idea to have Google Translate downloaded on your phone with the Thai language so that you can quickly translate things from English to Thai and vice versa if you really need to communicate with someone. It's really good to do this just so that you have peace of mind and you don't have to wonder what on earth you would do if, say, all of the taxi drivers you're trying to talk to just don't speak English and you really just want to get back to your hotel or your hostel or your Airbnb. It's just so nice to have that option and to have that kind of a safety blanket should that event happen to you. So this is something that I learned the hard way in the first week that I was in Thailand. But if your thighs, I know this sounds weird, but if your thighs rub together at all when you walk and you plan on wearing, say, a skirt where your thighs are going to chafe together, or short shorts where they're going to rub all day when you're walking everywhere, you should definitely bring baby rash cream or some type of rash cream to try and make this the least irritating and just annoying as possible. Within the first 2 days, I believe, of me being in Thailand, I had such a bad rash between my legs just from walking around in the heat for so long in the first 2 days, and it took me so long to get rid of it. I even kind of struggled with this through the entirety of the 4 months that I was there, depending on how active I was outside. And it is just not a good time, especially if you're only gonna be in Thailand for 2 weeks. If you're suffering from a leg rash the whole time that you're there, it's just not that much fun. So if you have space, definitely pack a rash cream to avoid being in the same situation that I was. So another thing that I want to mention is the fact that bidets are everywhere in Thailand. And I don't mean the fancy seat bidets that you find in, I think Japan has lots of them. Thailand has handheld bidets. So it's basically like a little water gun attached to a pipe that comes out from the toilet, and you are not supposed to use toilet paper, and you are certainly not supposed to flush toilet paper. So it's something that is just going to be everywhere on your trip, and you might as well get used to it. I think it's a good idea to embrace it. You are in a new country and you are experiencing a new culture, and that is just the norm in Thailand. I personally came to really love it. I think I went through maybe not even 2 rolls of toilet paper in the 4 months that I was there, because I tried to use bidets whenever I could. But if you are extremely uncomfortable at the idea, and even if you do decide to accept the idea, I think it's a really good idea to always just have a little bit of toilet paper with you wherever you go. Whether that be like 4 squares just in case of an emergency, or if you never want to use it a day, bring a whole pack, a whole ton of toilet paper with you wherever you go. Because the reality of it is, you probably won't have access to toilet paper in most places that you are. And though you usually will have a bidet, there might be a rare occasion where you just do not have that many options, or the bidet is just not looking touchable. So it's just a good idea to bring some toilet paper wherever you go. So on the same note of what I was just talking about and the bidets, I think it's a really good idea to pack just a tiny little container of liquid hand soap with you wherever you go. I found in a lot of places, unfortunately, soap was not available, or the soap that was available was in a soap bar that was being used by literally everyone and their mother. So I did not want to use that, and I never did have liquid hand soap with me on hand when I needed it. So I think it's just a good idea to pack like a little travel-sized hand soap with you, so that you have that in those, emergency moments when you really just need to wash your hands. So another tip that I have for you is not to fall for taxi drivers trying to charge premium prices for rides. Sometimes if you find yourself in a highly touristy area or a very busy area, you will get taxi drivers that won't want to use the meter, which is basically what most taxi services have, say in North America, where you start at a flat rate and then you accumulate, more money as you drive certain distances. With Thailand, it's supposed to be the same thing, but sometimes these taxi drivers will try and just charge you a base rate, which is more often than not a terrible deal. You end up spending way more. And the best way to get around this, if you are in a busy place and the taxi drivers are trying to do this to you, is to just walk a couple 100 meters in a direction where it looks to be quieter. And then you can just wave a taxi down, or maybe there will be taxis sitting, further down the road. And those taxi drivers are way less likely to try and charge you a base rate. And they will usually just use the meter, which is pretty much always the better situation to find yourself in. So that's a really easy way to get around that. And I can't really think of a single time that didn't end up working for me. The next tip that I have for you is to learn some Thai before you go to Thailand. I don't think you need to put a ton of time into learning the language. I just think it's really good if you know kind of some of the basics, you know, hello, goodbye, thank you, sorry. Even when you're driving in a taxi, being able to tell the taxi driver to turn left or to turn right, liao sai and liao hua, that helps a lot because in those instances you might not, I should say, have an English-speaking taxi driver. And in those moments, that can really save you, obviously. Telling them to turn left or turn right, or even like U-turn, just some of those simple one-word, you know, just small Thai words, it'll go a long way for you. And Thais also really appreciate the fact that you put some effort into learning their language. So even just saying sawadee ka, which is hello, it's just, I think it goes a really long way in Thailand, and it will not take much of your time, and it will very much enrich and enhance your experience. Oh, I should also mention even learning a couple of the words for certain types of food. If you have any allergies or if you have any preferences, just learning those little sentences will probably help you a lot if you ever find yourself in a restaurant where the people just don't speak any English, they only speak Thai. That can help you out a lot. So if you love snorkeling at all, or if you even plan on just snorkeling a few times on your trip, it's probably worth your effort just to purchase a snorkeling set before you come to Thailand and just to have it on hand whenever you need it. So when I was in Thailand, there were a couple of times where I wanted to just go snorkeling once, and to rent snorkeling gear was way overpriced, didn't make much sense. And then the snorkeling set that I ended up purchasing when I was in Thailand wasn't very good, and I'm sure that you can find some really good sets in Thailand, but just purchasing a pair from Amazon before you go to Thailand would probably just save you a lot of hassle, a lot of time. It's just, I think it's a good idea to purchase a snorkeling set before you get there, if that's something that interests you. So the last thing that I want you to know is that if you want to visit a Skybar in Bangkok, it is probably not worthwhile for you to visit Labua, which is the famous Skybar that was in The Hangover. Honestly, I went there and it was a huge disappointment and it was way overpriced. I got a water and I think it was $15. I think there are so many more Skybars in Bangkok that are just as nice, will cost you a fraction of the price, do not require you to be dressed a certain way, and they're just a lot more enjoyable. They're not as touristy. And I can list some of those probably just right here for you if you do want to check out some other ones. And I just highly recommend checking out more Skybars than just Labua. If you decide to even go there, that's fine. But make sure that you save yourself some time to go check out some other ones so that you can see some other sites of Bangkok, some other perspectives, and kind of experience the Skybar experience in a different way. So those are all of my tips for traveling Thailand. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please leave a like and also leave a comment saying what your favorite thing about Thailand is, or what you're most excited about to see in Thailand. And I hope you enjoyed this video, and we'll see you next time. Bye!